Hello, it's People and Events on the NTA. In this package, we are identifying with worthy individuals and celebrating excellence and achievements. What am I talking about? Yes, someone clocked 40 and marked it with notes by putting pen to paper. She wrote a book. And elsewhere, journalists, also known as pen pushers, set aside their pens, writing pads, and rushing off to meet one deadline or another just to unwind as their umbrella body clocked 70. We will also be celebrating arts and culture at their best, and the drive to further preserve the cultural heritage of Nigeria is amplified through the Nigeria Everywhere initiative. So, you will agree with me that this edition is loaded to the teeth. I am Ogochukwu Ona. Welcome. We begin with this very inspiring piece, A Food for Thought. There are many things that books aim to achieve, either to educate, inspire, motivate, or serve as a piece of entertainment. Authors write books in order to share their knowledge, telling a story, or communicating their thoughts, life experiences, feelings, and ideas. For Ruth Aguele, one of NTA's finest broadcasters who just clocked 40 years, a prose of 200 pages and 10 chapters titled Purpose is Not Safety is how she has chosen to tell her story. Deborah Balagbobo captured the unveiling as the rooftop of the NTA headquarters played host to family, friends, and colleagues who came to identify with the latest author in town.
A life of purpose is about finding what truly motivates and gives one meaning. It involves aligning actions, decisions, and values with core aspirations and passions. In her book, Purpose is Not Safety, the Nigerian Television Authority's ace broadcaster Ruth Aguele says life happens, but purpose manifests.
I just felt there will be a right time, a right moment in my life where everything will pause and wait for me to just go over and start what I've always had that passion to do. I just wanted to tell a part of my story. I didn't know it's not just going to be my story, but a story God wants me to tell.
Reviewer of the 200-page book couldn't agree less.
Have that self-discovery. Self-discovery in the sense that it will keep giving you the different pictures. But who are you? Like you ask yourself, who am I? What am I? Where am I? If you're able to answer some of these questions, then what Ruth is trying to give across to you in chapter 2 about self-discovery, you get to see.
Friends, colleagues, and well-wishers are delightfully astonished at Ruth's giant stride in launching a book as she climbs the 4th floor in life.
But it's also a time of a new beginning, because it's a time that comes with new opportunities and new great things to happen. So as we celebrate you, I believe the prayers that were said today, God has already answered our prayers.
Congratulations at 40, and I hope Nigerian youths would find you and your book inspiring for the purpose of national development.
To confirm to every one of us here that Ruth is one of our best. I can also confirm that Ruth is committed. I also confirm that Ruth is dedicated to her work. And so I congratulate you on your 40th birthday. I wish you well.
I want to say, just keep on being who you are. Don't change. Continue to give your best.
God has endowed you with the power of creativity, and you are highly prolific in writing. So may Almighty Allah continue to bless your age.
I pray that your career, your personal life will be fruitful and will be prosperous.
So Ruth, you have set the pace, and I hope people will follow suit.
Years ago, when some of us felt she could do what she does now, It wasn't easy getting people to accept that, but I'm glad that look how she's turned out. And she's also written a book. That's no mean achievement.
I'm hardly surprised at what Ruth is doing today because she's someone who is driven, who is focused, and who strives to be an inspiration to many people. Our life stories need to be written to inspire the younger generation.
Though reading culture in Nigeria is perceived to be declining, it's hoped that copies of the book will be read to inspire a burning desire for people to work in line with God's plan for a purposeful and fulfilling life.
Very inspiring, I must say. Congratulations, Ruth. In the past week also, the drums met the ground, sounding like Africa, sounding like Nigeria, a country that is blessed with rich culture. What a beautiful sight to behold. You are wondering what it is. Yes, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, is 70, and the watchdogs of society gathered in Abuja after 7 decades of profound contributions to national development, promoting Nigeria's narrative first in the face of modern realities. It was an anniversary gala, award night, and presentation of a book, The Bleeding Pen, a documentation of the history of NUJ and the struggles by journalists. Ayodeji Makinde tells us all about this.
The roll call of veterans and experienced hands and dignitaries to celebrate one of the most dominant unions in Nigeria underscores the central role that journalism has played in the country's manifest destiny and historic mission. Nigeria Union of Journalists, adjudged to be a key driver to independence in 1960 and the inevitable return to democratic rule in 1999, is now up against realities, notably the threat of artificial intelligence and quackery, fueled by social media landscapes. President Tinubu, represented, gave a renewed challenge on members to champion Nigeria's democratic progress.
As we mark 26 years of continuous democratic governance in our country, the media must champion narratives that reflect the country's democratic gains, stories of institutional reforms, infrastructural development, citizens' engagement, and socio-economic advancement.
This moment reinforces the crucial responsibility of reporters to continue advocating for the robust democracy and demanding greater transparency from all levels of government and ensure accountability in governance. A fearless and independent press is fundamental to the health of any thriving democracy.
The convergence was not only a celebration, it served as a reality check with paper presentation on prospects and problems of journalistic practice in the age of artificial intelligence by a university don. Also, a book authored by Shuaibu Usman Leman titled The Bleeding Ink was launched to uphold ethical standards and practices.
Although AI has come to stay, we cannot afford to shy away from technology. The reality is that AI will need human complementarity. For as long as we want to use AI, then on our own part, we must be equipped with the basic knowledge.
Father of the day, Aremo Olusegun Oshoba, led other experts in fields of journalism in calling for stricter sanctions on imposters and more enforcement of guidelines of practice.
Please, NUJ, set up a website at which you must publish the list of those of us who are trained journalists. We are daily being embarrassed by some people who are not trained, who have no knowledge of the profession, who are embarrassing us.
Reputation is the core asset of any individual, any organization, any nation. And at a time like this, when other people are painting the narratives of Nigeria to suit their own mindset, we must say no and begin to tell our own stories in our own way. and the NUJ has a critical role to play.
Beyond the cultural display, 7 individuals were recognized for their outstanding contributions to continuous development of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, including traditional rulers, leaders of thoughts, and NTA's duo of Muji Makanjuola and Ladi Bala, who previously served as presidents of NAWOJ. Let me also tell you that the event did not round off without the cutting of the cake. After all, 70 years is indeed a milestone.
What a beautiful moment celebrating excellence in journalism and the media landscape. We take a break at this point. Stay tuned. Now, the reports about the return of looted ancient sculptures stolen more than 120 years ago during the colonial era didn't begin today, but the latest is that there is a significant milestone in cultural diplomacy between Nigeria and the Netherlands, with the return of 119 repatriated of such bronzes from the country. Joy Ebo takes us to the palace of the Oba of Benin, Ewari II, and the official handover of the items to government in Lagos.
With the official signing of the certificate of return for the 119 artifacts on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria from the representatives of Netherlands, the Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musa, described the action as a move in the right direction for global unity.
Benin bronzes will not only be a source of inspiration for artisans and historians, but also serve as a catalyst for the cultural tourism that enriches both our economy and our soul.
These are embodiments of the spirit and identity of the people in which they were taken from. To other parts of the world, you may say these are artifacts, but to us, they carry deep spirituality.
Representatives of the Kingdom of Netherlands say this move has created the way for more collaboration.
The Nigerian government asked for the return of these Benin bronzes, and so we have a commission for colonial collections, and they advised us to return those 119 Benin bronzes after the provenance research that had been done by the Wereldmuseum.
The Oba of Benin's message was read by his first daughter.
I am very overwhelmed with this handing over ceremony because it has been the wish of my father and grandfather to ensure that all the looted Benin artifacts in 1897 were returned to the palace of the Oba of Benin.
Top government functionaries from the state who witnessed the event includes the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Samson Osaigi. This repatriation is notable not only for the number of artifacts returned, but also for the strengthened diplomatic ties it fosters between Nigeria and the Netherlands. The Oba expressed gratitude to the Netherlands government, President Bola Tinubu, and his predecessor, Muhammadu Buhari, as well as the Director General of National Commission for Museums and Monuments, for their roles in facilitating the return of these artifacts.
These artifacts belong to my ancestors. I will not sit on the ancient throne of my ancestors and let it be relooted. We thank God Almighty and our ancestors today. I thank the government of Netherlands for being touched in their heart to return these treasured artifacts.
This event follows previous repatriations, including 2 artifacts from Germany and 2 from the United States, highlighting a growing global momentum for the return of these looted cultural and symbolic art masterpieces.
The artifacts and embodiments of the identity of the Benin people. Kudos to the Netherlands. Now, the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy has been hosting creatives to a fashion showcase in Abuja as part of this administration's economic diversification strategy. The minister, Hanatu Musawa, says this is matching words with action to meet the destination 2030 $100 billion target set to boost Nigeria's economy. Ngufan Shaji Ugwanyi tells us that it's no longer business as usual in the ministry.
Through the Nigerian Everywhere initiative, fashion is the vehicle and the destination is in line with the renewed hope agenda to create creative hubs across the 36 states and the FCT, where young creatives can network and build lasting businesses.
Because it is very important for us as a government to ensure that upon all the support that we want to give you when it comes to policy and the legal frameworks that we hope to put in place and the infrastructure that you so desperately need, we need to give you the funding.
The first step in achieving this vision is through the signing of this MOU with Ananse.
And these creative hubs will be the center of innovation and training and product development.
At least $100 billion contribution to expand the GDP by 2030. I really believe we can do that.
The Nigerian Everywhere Fashion Showcase had ministers and top brand designers come to engage with blooming fashion designers selected from across the 36 states and the FCT through the Nigeria Everywhere, the Creatives Collection Initiative of the Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy.
Our Komolafe is we are obsessed with colors and mixing vibrant colors together, because something a lot of people don't understand is Africa is colorful.
A lot of people don't know about this fabric, but it is popular to the people from Kogi State. It is hand woven and amazing because look at the colors.
I had to get this from the only person selling it in Uyo. So that's one of the challenges, having these locally produced fabrics at our beck and call.
It's one sector that contributes hugely to your GDP.
The Creatives Collection is a testament to the power of creativity and cultural heritage, celebrating Nigeria's unique identity and inspiring a new generation of designers to explore and showcase their roots.
The 2025 pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia comes to an end. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria continues to receive encomiums from stakeholders on how the operation played out this year. And to make it more memorable, separate dinners were organized in Makkah. Let's get the full gist from Jamilu Ibrahim.
The annual pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia is a complex exercise that requires active and diligent participation of various stakeholders who work as a system towards achieving the ultimate goal of having a successful Hajj operation. Gathered here in Mecca are officials of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria and those of a Saudi-based service provider Ikram al-Dayf, celebrating the successful completion of the 2025 Hajj. The event is specifically meant to honor the NAHCON chairman and his team in recognition of the vital role they played towards ensuring the smooth and diligent Hajj operation this year. The two parties recounted the major experience of the Hajj operation as they wine and dine together, signaling a better partnership ahead.
Actually, we are very, very happy for this award we got for Nigeria, for the Commission. It is a success for all of us. We work as a team.
I work for Sudanese, for Somalis, but Nigerians, it is the first time. I am very happy. Everything is good.
The NAHCON chairman and his management team also received a similar honor from a Saudi-based transport company, Dalil Al Ma'alim, in Makkah.
The Kaaba
and it is certification.
We work together with all our service providers from different units, transportation, accommodation, feeding, and others. So all of us now celebrating our success.
It's need for us to show our appreciation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to commend the effort of the national chairman of Hajj Commission and the entire members of Hajj Commissions.
The exchange of pleasantries and encomiums at the event does not only depict the satisfaction of the two parties on how their 2025 partnership played out, but also a clear indication of its sustainability.
Yes, it's a way of saying thank you for all you've done. And finally, what memories are you creating in the minds of people around you? Well, this next package is asking, as the late Elizabeth Onega Opalua is laid to rest at her country home in Ida local government area of Kogi State, where our former executive director, engineering, Nigerian Television Authority, Moses Opanachi, and other sympathizers describe her death as a loss not only to Igala Kingdom, but Nigeria as a whole, considering her contributions to community development. Ayodele Ibigbemi was there.
The final journey home of late Elizabeth Onega Opalua Ne Opanachi brought family members, friends, and sympathizers together at a wake keep held at the deceased compound in Ida local government area of Kogi State. At the funeral service, Reverend John Adino of the United Evangelical Church Ida in his sermon says life is a marathon, not a sprint, urging the people to hold on to their faith, trusting God in all their endeavors. Children and other family members of late Elizabeth describe her as a godly mother, a devoted Christian who lived her life in the service of God and humanity.
Mama is worthy of everything that is good.
Mama was a lover of Christ, even unto her final sleep. I pray we can even do 1/10 of what she has done.
Mama was a very devoted Christian. We all love her.
The remains of late Elizabeth Onega Opalua was later committed to the Mother Earth in her residence in Ida local government area of Kogi State.
That's my lovely mother, who has been caring and loving me. Anytime I come home, she say, "Ocho Baba, have you eaten?"
Mama has been a spiritual example to us in terms of the way she lives her Christian life.
I have a lot to talk about Mama, but the only one I can never forget in my life is forgiveness and giving.
She's down to earth with anybody. She likes helping everybody. So everything about her I see it as good.
Age 97, late Elizabeth Onega Opalua is survived by children and many grandchildren. Among them is Juliana Ame Oboni, wife of the late Ata Igala Michael Ame Oboni.
And that's it on People and Events this week. We hope we added value to your time. Always remember to be positive and strive for excellence in whatever you do. Celebrate yourself and one another. I am Ogochkuka Ona, signing out.